Alright, so just to make this experiment, if you will, unbiased, I actually got an Americano this time with half and half. And so I'm about to taste it. I just realized that, so it was only $2 because, I mean, normally it'd be double that, but I have a debit card with this place, and you get half off on all the drinks, so it's a pretty nice perk. So I'm about to take my first sip of the coffee Americano without matcha. And the matcha is unsweetened, and the half and half. So this has an equivalent of 2 shots of espresso, and it still has the half and half. So in this case, I'm not sure if it's because they might have put less half and half, because it is a smaller one, right? It's definitely not as creamy as this one. So I used to order this one quite a bit. So maybe when you ask for Americano, they just don't put that much half and half. I mean, by the very nature of it, like I said, maybe this experiment's still not right. Because maybe I should have asked for an equivalent size, but I'm sure it would have been about the same. Yeah, I'm getting a lot more creaminess than the other one. A little bit more. So I guess it just has to do with, I'm starting to think about it. Probably just the amount of heavy cream that they use, because when you do the Americano, you obviously, the method is such that you have a certain amount of espresso, but you also put basically like hot water with it. So I'm sure that there's a lot less half and half in this than there is in that. And so by getting this every time, you're pretty much telling everybody, I want to have a meal, I want to have like a big meal, So if you're asking for an Americano, I think there's like more water in it. It's almost like diluted. And they're almost like, I'm not saying that they're robots, but in a sense they're kind of like robots where they just do what they have to do. And if you ask them like every little particular thing, it's like they would have to pretty much give you a class on it. So the experiment is kind of important, because nobody's going to be, like, every time I ask a question about these things, it's like they're not quite 100% clear on it, because like they're not like they're trying to like measure everything in a very specific way or whatever, but that ends up mattering in terms of your nutritional awareness of these things, so, and your bodily response to it. So obviously I think by getting this every time, there's just a shit ton of half and half, whatever they add to it, that kind of can kick me out of ketosis, or maybe increase my blood sugar more often, or maybe lower my ketones significantly, or whatever, that might have explained why I was like, you know what, I gotta stop drinking this. Because like because clearly if you're asking for Americano, which is this one, I'm starting to see a pattern, and basically it's like, the pattern is that it doesn't seem as creamy, or it seems like there's something missing, and I'm just so used to this one. You get what I'm saying? So there's like I'm sure there's a happy medium, but if I do get one like this, right? I mean, it's perfectly satisfying and you're getting less cream. So I guess from that point of view, maybe that's why the guy orders it, because he knows that generally you're not going to get as much cream. And if you try to ask him for less cream or less half and half or whatever, like, it's just awkward. They're going to be like, well, what do you mean by splash or whatever? Like, it's just not, they kind of like respond like robots. But everybody responds like a robot for their own job. So it's like, they're going to be confused. Not everybody, but I'm just saying that generally speaking, it's like that. It's like, okay, well, I'll just put a splash, I guess. Or if you try to do it yourself, if you try to just get it and do it yourself like a splash, I mean, you yourself will be kind of robotic in that sense, and you won't know how far you need to go. And you're not going to be doing it right. Because they have their own processes, their own tools and stuff like that. I'm just saying that I'm just trying to get a glimpse and an idea in the event that I have to be on the go on things and I want to still be in ketosis and stuff like that. So this is actually still not bad. I mean, I think I prefer this versus the steam, because this is not steam. This one has half and half without the steam milk. It's just the Americano with just like pure, just putting in the, I think they might froth it a little bit or maybe heat it up some way, but pure half and half. And I think I'm gonna put a little bit of, they told me they don't have a spoon. I'm like, what? So I'm just gonna put a little bit of, I don't think I have a spoon too, but what I would consider to be a sizable serving, I guess, and then try to mix it. I don't have any mixing gear. Oops. You have a mixer? Oh. But I'm just gonna like kind of try to put it in here and see what would be considered what I would do on the spoon. So that seems about right for one spoon. So I'm gonna put 2 of those, maybe 1.5. Because when I did 4, actually, yeah, just a little bit more. So just like a little bit, like half of that. Because when I did 4, it was just like way too overpowering. So I'm gonna put that much in there. Gotta go back downstairs. Or I'll just mix it with my finger, I guess. I shouldn't have taken a, because every time you do that in a concentrated way, I'll just use my finger and see. Okay, I'll just put some monk fruit in there. So let's see how this tastes. And I know it's not going to be 100% fair because like just doing that spoon, like the finger thing, I literally don't have anything else. Actually, I do have one thing that I can stir with. Yeah, it's the bombilla from the yerba mate. So I'm going to use that, but better make sure that it doesn't have any crap on it, I guess. Maybe I do have something else. I don't know, in my bag here. Oh, I do have, yeah, I do. Actually, I have shilajit too. I'm going to put shilajit in there too. But it doesn't add to taste, so I brought this for the shilajit. Shilajit right here. So it just adds on to some nutritional stuff. Add a little bit of taste, but actually before I do that, I'm just gonna, yeah. Okay. So probably might have put too much monk fruit because it is kind of small. And yesterday I put, okay. I like the sweetness. You don't want to overdo it with the monk fruit because then it starts tasting like aspartame or something nasty, Like if it gets too sweet from monk fruit, then it just kind of tastes a little chemically. But right now I think it's perfect. But I would say that before the putting the monk fruit in, it had a certain creaminess that you couldn't get from the steamed part if it was just purely steamed. So my recommendation is, unless you're gonna plan on putting butter or something else creamy, order Americano with half and half, and that's a really good medium because basically what that means is that if you order the Breve, they're gonna give you the difference between doing what I just said, right? Americano with heavy cream or half and half, and also and the difference between that and then a Breve is that for the Breve, they'll probably, especially if you ask for a larger one, but even if you ask for a smaller one, they'll probably at minimum give you, I don't know, 0.75 to 1 cup, 8 ounces of of the half and half, which is just way too overpowering. Whereas if you ask for like a small, I'm gonna put the Sheila J in there, Americano, which is usually 8 to 12 ounces, you know, so 1 to 1.5 cups of the whole beverage, right? Well, what that's gonna do is, because of the process of having to take the, let me call it, of having to take the, because of the process of having to take that espresso shot and, how do you say this, and having to basically douse it with more water, pretty much that only gives about 2 to 4 ounces left of you being able to put milk in there, and so that's about all you're going to get is 2 to 4 ounces versus 8 to, I don't know, however many. I mean, versus like, I don't know, like 6 to 8 ounces for the 8 to 12 ounce, you know, cup, and that makes a huge difference. The 2 to 4 versus 6 to 8 when it comes to the milk, that makes a huge difference for somebody on a keto diet. Huge difference. So, because like I just now I can tell you that sometimes it kicks me out of ketosis, and I'm like, damn it, what's going on? So whereas the you minimize it in that sense, you have to see if you're doing keto, you have to become a master of minimization. So it's better to just now I realize what it really means to order that versus the Breve. It's the amount of milk they give you, and if you try to tell them I only want this amount, I mean, some people will do it, but then they may not really understand, and I don't know, it's just they have their own process of doing the making the drinks, so it takes the job out of it. Like, to them at that point, they're like, well, why don't you just make it? That's how they look at it. So just understand that, well, because like, you kind of want to take I mean, the whole nature of doing this, right, is that you're not doing it yourself. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, thanks for watching.